Paddy, you see SMEs all the time.
Yes.
Are they adapting the way they should, as many of them as should?
Yes, well, I think the smart ones are adapting. And what they're doing is they're using technology actually very smartly. So if you take it in George's context, hopefully when he's successful in terms of exploiting international markets, he's going to have a big production unit going. So how can he manage his production flow effectively? And technology can help there. One thing that strikes me from my experience with dealing with small businesses, some of them are afraid of technology. And what Vodafone would always advise would be, or what I would always advise would be, don't worry about the technology and how it works. Understand what are the business benefits that technology brings to you. If you understand that, there are IT resellers out there who can come in and help you deploy it.
Okay, so it's all about having a vision, really, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's also about understanding what are the pressure points in my business, and talk to your local IT reseller. You'd be amazed how technology can help address those pressure points, and quite cost effectively.
Okay, what do you think, Paraic, are the key things that businesses should be watching out for in this difficult time? How can they get through and clear the way, I suppose, to get to the next level, to get to developmental level?
I suppose one thing is look at efficiencies at the moment. I think we're all looking at that. How can we, like just on IT there, how we can become more efficient, looking at our costs. And then I suppose to look at the market out there, look at, as I say, you adapt. If the market is contracted here, then you look at where there's market out there. I think it was mentioned earlier, maybe looking at commercial rather than home. Then maybe looking at going abroad to look at markets, but constantly looking and constantly exploring. But don't do it on your own. Look for someone, go out there, there's enough expertise to help you and support you and come up with ideas.
Yeah, I mean, Harry, one of these things, and Paraic, is talking about cost control and structures. Right. A big part of that comes down to dealing with people, and I mean that can be a very, very difficult area.
It does, and a lot of businesses, their survival in business at the moment, and collecting cash is very important. And I mean, he's going to have to be very dogged about how he goes about collecting what's owed to him from people who are in the construction trade. And I mean, the usual motto that I have is people owe you money, they don't want to come into you to do more business. So he doesn't have to be afraid to pursue these people, and he should be pursuing them if they owe him a lot of money, otherwise they'll put him out of business.
But what about debt collection? I mean, when it's got beyond the relationship stage?
That's it. I think he has to be quite aggressive about collecting his debts and come to his solicitor and have proceedings issued if necessary and pursue it to get a judgment, because it's usually those who get the judgments first are going to get security.
Yeah, but I saw something written somewhere that a lot of people were afraid to pursue that because they don't want to damage what they see as a relationship.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is a balance, obviously. It's a balance, and he's going to have to weigh up the commercial relationship. But if people aren't paying you, they'll eventually put you out of business.
George's approach in terms of the domestic one-off private builder, he's looking for 100% cash up front, and that's extremely conservative.
Is it realistic though?
Well, I would say he loses a lot of sales because of it. I mean, if he wants to protect against losses, what he should really be looking for is, in terms of deposit and payment on delivery, enough to cover his marginal cost of production.
So of course the business he's involved in has changed completely, that there isn't this ongoing roll of cash anymore. It is kind of spotting in on a once-off basis.
Spotting in on a once-off basis, but if you look at other builders in, let's say, the one-off private housing market like Finley's, Finley's are flat out because they've targeted that business very, very carefully over the last 2 years. And they go after private people with their own land looking to build. And they manage their credit. I mean, George's approach to managing his private credit seems to be you either pay up front or you don't get the product at all. I would say to him, assess the risk on each individual, and make sure that you would secure a deposit sufficient to cover your marginal cost of production, so that if, you'll cover at least that. But a blanket 100% is not going to help his business.
Harry, looking ahead to where we are now, what would you say to business people watching this programme? What should they be watching out for, number one, and what should they be thinking of to try and develop?
I think they should watch their customer base, ensure that they don't become dependent on any one customer, make sure that the contractual relationships are put in place in the event that they run into difficulty, that they have a recourse against the person they're dealing with, and just watch their cash flow, and if there's an opportunity there to get cash in through an investment, through Enterprise Ireland, through BES, they should be looking at it.
Paddy, brand and technology, how important is that when you really have to keep your eye on the ball being keeping your business going?
Absolutely. Well, if you think about it in George's case, having an innovative product in its own right isn't enough. George clearly needs to understand what his target market is, and therefore then needs to look at two things I would suggest is one, a strong online strategy and up his web presence, and secondly, understand the sales channels that will get him effectively to his marketplace And I think the web from an international perspective would be a very strong starting point.
And these are lessons that all businesses can learn from, really, aren't they?
No, absolutely. Sales channels and understanding your target market are critical things. If you get that right, you're 3/4 of the way there.
Okay, it'd be nice if we could do that with every business, but there are more immediate fundamentals, Paraic, I think that everybody needs to watch right now.
Oh, absolutely. I think we've said it already. Is above all managing your cash flow. I suppose the key thing with your bank is keep in touch with your bank. Regularly in touch, and keep updating your business plan. Look for new markets, but when you're looking for those new markets, don't be afraid. There's plenty of support out there. There's plenty of support for agencies that will give you support to get into those markets, and don't be afraid to go and look for support.
Well, there you are, a lot of advice there, a lot of interesting opportunities face Amvic Construction, and hopefully they'll be able to see their way through recession and move to the next level of development. Many thanks to our panel. They were Paddy Collins, Head of Small and Medium Business at Vodafone Ireland, Paraic Brennan, Commercial Manager of Bank of Ireland St Stephen's Green, the Managing Partner of Holmes O'Malley Sexton legal firm Harry Feely, and Paraic Bergin, Regional Director from the Alchemy Network. Join us next time when we'll move from the world of construction to the glitz and glamour of the LA Makeup Academy, another company facing business challenges. See you then.